Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Brickstop Live. It said live. The live counter says at 30 seconds already, so I was kind of like glitching out. I think it's maybe delayed because I was like, oh, we weren't live for 30 seconds already. But whatever, here we are. If we were, we weren't being too inappropriate, I don't think, or anything.
No.
Saying a bunch of swears off camera.
Quite genteel, actually.
That's true. So, a couple of things. First of all, how you doing, Jim? Welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Thank you, man. Yeah, all good, man. Yeah, looking forward to talking about this. Not like massively out of our realm. It's all classic Lego, but it's kind of weird with me, this one. But we'll talk about it later. But all in all, some great builds. This is kind of good direction. Nice to see where all the builds and techniques that you loved started to evolve here. So yeah, really lovely bit.
For sure. Yeah, what I like about this theme is you can see how Lego did a very good job making a franchise, or not a franchise, a licensed theme with most of the parts they already had. Yeah. There are some obvious molds, obviously new printed characters, just a couple of molded characters and things like that, some new pieces, but overall, you can kind of like point out like, oh yeah, these are not 90%, parts they already had in the inventory. So it kind of shows like the creativity of this theme is pretty out of control.
Man. And then the things that they did recolor and print were like quite special and stuff. So it's just a great new stuff.
Also, we're still in the 90s here. It's 1999, so we're still in the classic days. But We'll stray out of that too. We're not exclusively going to do old vintage stuff. Like that's kind of our favorite, and then Castle and Pirate are like our bread and butter. But like we talk about news. We'll talk about new themes. We'll probably hit Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit eventually. There's probably 3 or 4 more Star Wars episodes because I think it goes up to 2004 with the little yellow minifigs, which are king. So we're going to keep that in consideration as well. Quick, kind of huge news for the channel. I'm going to talk about this real quick, and then we'll move into the actual show. I was able to monetize this channel, which is huge. So that's like the next step in creating more content, creating higher quality content. So right now, I think it sits at, you can buy super chats, I believe, and like gifts in the subs and gifts in the chat. I believe that's active now. Somebody can maybe check and see if that's available. You don't need to actually send a donation, but you can see if it's available at the bottom and let us know in the chat. And then I see Absolute Garbage. I think he's the first paying member of the channel. So you can pay to be a part of the channel. It's $3 a month. And really all that does is I believe you get like 4 custom emojis that I'm going to be tweaking a little bit more, that you can drop in the chat potentially. I'm going to ask them and see if that's working. And then there's supposed to be like a little badge next to your name or your channel user or something like that. So I'm not 100% sure because I don't see the badge, but I hand drew a bunch of shields, little pixel shields that were the badges for the different, members. So those become available as well. So
fantastic, man.
Yeah. And then phase 2 of monetization is basically ad revenue. So we're not there yet, but we do have some streams of revenue now, potentially. If you guys want to support the channel, we can do super chats like we did with our old show back in the day when I was with Andrew and we were doing Let's Talk About Lego. Shout out Let's Talk About Lego. Go check it out on Brick Monarch channel. You can drop super chats, and the super chats, of course, are prioritized. Any of the chats are like that. You see Absolute Garbage as a member. His little when he drops a comment, he's green in the chat. So that's like just another highlight, kind of shows what's going up. So, So that's about it. Feel free to do that if you want to support us, and then we're gonna kind of move into the show today. So I just wanted to let you guys know
we're rolling.
Yeah, we're rolling. We're moving in the right direction. Oh, and part of that is also so we can get money to like purchase the software and stream in high definition because we're on like I don't know what it is, 720 or something right now, and get rid of the little StreamYard logo and stuff like that. It's just another step towards getting closer to better content and more of it. So
get that Brickstop logo in the corner, Jason.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, we could start the intro with the Brickstop, the old Brickstop animation that I have, remember? Yeah. You know, like we could do like an intro video, and then the show will start. We could probably put both our logos up here instead. Whatever. Like there's stuff we could do if we start actually generating some income off of this. So. Yeah, we're gonna keep plugging forward though. So thank you, Absolute Garbage, for the membership. That's awesome. So thanks. And yeah, Black Falcon's in the house. Yellowhead Lego Star Wars, the best Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Damn right. Chris Jones, good evening.
Good evening,
guys. Crusader in the house. Hi, Bricks and Minifigs Collectibles jumping in there. Josh with the real space theme. He says.
Sunny Josh.
It's the only space theme.
Yeah,
Spacer Nate. Hello, long live Yellow Star Wars. Lorem Artis in the house. Go check out Wolftron. His shop still has some available. And you can get his classic Wolftron customs that he's put on the shop. And keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that shop because there's more coming down the pipeline. I don't want to give it away, but it's going to be popping off. So thank you. Congratulations. Super chats work right on. Awesome. So yeah, you guys can drop those if you want. You don't have to. We're going to be addressing the chat regardless if they're super chats or not. If we get to the point where there's just too much going on, the best way to be seen in the chat or your opinion to be heard would be even like a 99-cent super chat. But until we get to that point, we probably don't need to do that. But it's at your discretion. Yeah, thank you. Congrats, dude. Super excited. Oh, so the badges do show up. He said that they look so good. So yeah, I did little pixel shields. I drew like 13 different ones. So if you're a member for a month, you get like the little chevron one, and it's a new chevron one for 2 months. It changes to a different color, and then there's like a Crusader one and a more decorative Crusader one. You know, so yeah, it's kind of
amazing.
Lorem says this is my favorite theme. Yeah. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. But if you're serious, yeah, let me know if you're serious. If this is actually your favorite thing, because I feel like it's not. But it is my favorite Lego Star Wars theme as far as the time frame, 1999. We're getting the yellow Lego guys here. So I did want to show a couple of pages from a couple of the magazines that came out around this time. So you get the cool profiles of the different characters. This was their first IP. This was the first time they'd ever done this. So they're trying new stuff, So we opened these catalogs up. We didn't have much access to the internet back then, and so this is how we found out about stuff. There were no leak pages back then. So you get your magazine, and here we are, and we open this up, and we're like, what? This is the craziest. I just saw this at my friend's house. I just saw this movie at my friend's house. This is crazy. Look at these little guys. And then, of course, you have the classic Star Wars that we all grew up with. So I wanted to point out, now I'm talking a lot. I'll let you jump in, Jim. But
no, you're all right, man. No, please lead on this one.
Along here.
there's a reason why that bodes well. Lead, mate.
Yeah. Appreciate that. But I'll let you jump in. I just want one last thing about these magazines and stuff is back then you can see, and this is what they did even with like Wild West and like Pirates and stuff, is they made actual photographs of like little like styrofoam rocks and sand, and like they would like edit these little photographs with bubbles, and they do these full-on photograph comic strips inside the magazines. And so now I think this kind of gives you an insight into how I've been inspired to move forward with some of the stuff that I've built, right? Like this was what I grew up with. This was the most amount of Lego content was coming directly from Lego, and it was done like this. So like, how cool is that? This was just a couple of fun little pages from those catalogs when they launched the theme, and I think they did a really good job promoting it and showing off kind of what they did here. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you remember?
It's a weird one. It's bittersweet, isn't it? Like I obviously really love it in lots of ways, and it definitely carries on the classic space vibe, the way of presenting it, and they've gone above. I remember the marketing for Phantom Menace when it was coming out was ridiculous anyway. So they really did go fully in, and that's nice in an old school Lego way. Look, like now what's on screen and stuff. And the builds are cool. Like I don't mind the funkiness of them and stuff. But for me, like I was a massive collection of Micro Machines Action Fleet Star Wars about the time, and I also really loved Lego Space In-House. So when this happened, a lot of people were like, "Yes, put your hands together, my man. This is the best thing ever." But I remember being a bit like, "I'm not sure about this." And like, I was going in on the day that they were all out in Toys R Us in piles of boxes, like the new Lego Star Wars. And I was looking at the builds, and I think it was an A-wing, and I was like, I'm not much for that. Where like I'd rather have on M-Tron 2 or something. So and I was a big Star Wars fan. It's not that I don't like Star Wars either. Like I was really into Star Wars, but all of my stuff, like Star Wars toys, were like the Kenner figures and the Action Fleet stuff, and then Lego was Lego, and I just had a hard time at first. Now I'm like, what other way is there to do it now? Like it's come full circle. Like it's amazing. It's just I'm just remembering how I felt at the time, and so everything from there on kind of. So I never really bothered with it. If I was getting Lego Star Wars, it'd be like off a relative or as a gift or something like that. People know I love Star Wars.
You didn't go after it.
You know me well enough to know about like Blacktron and all that kind of stuff.
Totally.
So it's one of them things. But I do appreciate it. I mean, God, I'd love it. All these minifigs and all these sets. Now it's different as a collector. You look at it through a completely different lens. But yeah, it was just something I never really bothered with. Plus, if I started collecting Lego Star Wars, it'd be game over, man. Like, there's just I'm at limits with Castle Pirates in Space.
I feel that for sure. I want to address at least a couple of things you said there. One of them, I think the one that stuck with me most was the space fans. The space fans come out and they're excited about it. We're all excited about it, looking at it like, oh, this is cool. But it killed space. So like that's for someone who was already on the fence about whether or not Lego Star Wars was a good idea, and then to have it kill one of your favorite themes. Space, like that's huge. Like that's gonna turn a lot of people against it, probably. Or at least.
But at first, we didn't realize, like when you're going into Toys R Us on the day this is all banged all over the shelves and the promotional aisles, you don't necessarily know there's not going to be a continuation with the in-house space stuff.
Right.
You know that. Yeah. That's like a reality that's looming beyond you. But there's a feeling of because it's got everything else. You know what I mean? It's swallowed everything else, and you're just like, oh, right, I see.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard to even differentiate Lego from Star Wars in today's world, right? But at the time, that's a good point. Like these were movies we watched at friends' houses, or like, if we were lucky, we got to see one in the theater when the prequels were popping off, and like they were action figures that you played with, or they were the Micro Machines, and then to see it represented in Lego, it's almost the best thing ever and the weirdest thing ever, and like maybe not the coolest thing ever, because it's Lego was that's what I wanted to address. Lego up until, and you kind of pointed to this a little bit, up until this point, Lego was its own IP, like and if you so you just like you get this cross-pollination going on with
they just
like
do
someone
stuff
else's stuff
like Star Wars, like Star Trek, but it's not any of them specifically, because then
like Indiana Jones,
that bridge into
that's a good point. I mean, that's a good perspective for sure. I like that.
Well, I'm not even trying to be like edgy and have a perspective like from my heart of hearts. Like I look at it now and I love it. I think it's mint. I've got some, I've got a pod racer up there and an A-wing up here. I dig it, but it's not like I'm not trying to get Lego Star Wars at the moment. And at the time when this came out, I wasn't massively bothered.
We didn't get much of it.
It's the collector in me and the completionist in me that looks at it and goes, "Ooh, that'd be nice to have all those cool time pieces and all those X-Men pieces, especially the old ones from this time." So I dig it. I like it
for sure, man. Well, and it's hard to be a Lego or a Star Wars fan as a franchise. It's hard to be a fan. 2026 is a weird time.
There's something in Lego Star Wars for all Star Wars fans, but it's not as simple as all of it's great for a lot.
No, it's not. It's just some of the worst Lego sets ever are Star Wars Lego sets. That's just the fact.
Just through oversaturation and law of averages, like.
So I mean, the Lego Star Wars community is a whole thing. I don't know. We're probably going to have some takes that most of them won't agree with, because we're coming at this from like a Lego kind of side of it. And,
exactly. In-house fans, but like no shots fired. Just an honest reflection of how it felt at the time, and totally. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Well, what influence would just one guy like me have anyway if I didn't like it? It's just this: we are getting Lego Star Wars forever, regardless. So you just kind of at some point read through the history. But I guess like sort of thinking about this episode and sort of watching a lot of R.R. Slugger stuff in the past few weeks, and him doing and early Star Wars-esque mocks, kind of thinking about it again and thinking, oh, that's cool. I've got all those bits, those greys, those blues, those slopes. Like that would be quite cool to mock some of that kind of the realm of like the ships that don't get much airtime in Star Wars, not your X-wings, not your B-wings, even like the wee stuff that's like appears for just a couple of seconds in a frame and they're scanning through a hangar. I guess if there's anything in my mock Star Wars star chart, it's probably something like that.
Yeah, well, and you're going to see that with the mocks I pull in, because I've done actually a handful of these, and they're all focusing on things we either didn't get in this, but are in the movies that we didn't get as Lego sets, or didn't even show up in the movies at all and were cut. So, yeah. Also, real quick, I believe rumor has it that it was the contracts Lego signed with George Lucas, Lucasfilms, Lucas Studios, whatever they're called, that killed Space. It wasn't. It was literally that. It was the contract. It wasn't that Lego wasn't intending necessarily to make Space and Star Wars next to each other, because they actually did later. Once those contracts expired, they were able to, produce and have them side by side, basically on the shelves. Now they have what the we're living in. Like, they have Star Trek and Star Wars licenses at this point, holding both of them, which is crazy. So like, yeah,
and all your Nintendo stuff and your Sonic and
it's its own thing now. But like at the time, George, or I don't know if it was specifically George Lucas, was like, Lego can't make Space, but it was like the company was like, we don't want a competitor in the Lego zone. So if you're going to make Star Wars Lego, that's it. You can't do all your own in-house space stuff and compete with selling, which really doesn't make any sense to me personally, but I get it. People were kind of cutthroat, and that's the way it is. So companies, right? They're always trying to maximize those profits.
Yeah, me and Lauren were on about it just before the stream. It's a real thing, but that's the world we're in, and that's kind of the world that a lot of this Lego stuff's based on. So
yeah. Oh, and real quick, yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, like I was saying, it's hard to even divorce the idea of Lego and Star Wars in today's world, right? Getting to 2026, but at the time, up until this hit, there was nothing. There was no Harry Potter, no Spider-Man, no Lego Studios. There was nothing like that. So, also, I want to say, as a Star Wars fan growing up, and as less of a Star Wars fan now, the only good Star Wars, this is my hot take, are the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, Rogue One, Andor, and Solo. I like Solo. And that's it, man. I don't care about the rest of it. The rest is trash.
Weird, that is. I quite like Solo. I put it
Mandalorian, like season 1 and 2, maybe if you get really crazy, but like even that starts to get off the rails. And like Mandalorian Grogu, the movie was fine, but I don't put that with the rest of the ones I just mentioned. So that's when I say like Star Wars fan, me talking about Star Wars, that's mostly what I'm processing, and then maybe some of the 90s games, Episode 1 Pod Racers for PC, and like Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, stuff like that. But Star Wars Battlefront, anyway, all right, not to get into the crazy.
No, you're right, my brother. There's fan made Shadows of the Empire stuff that absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Star Wars has a little bit for everybody. That's kind of, and so does Lego, and I think that's kind of where they do meet really well, and like, because it is. I mean, it's like, I just mentioned kind of where I cut off my fandom, in the franchise, but the franchise goes well beyond what I just mentioned. So anyway, all right, let's address the chat, and then we'll take a look at these sets, and we'll keep cooking along. People are dropping comments in the chat.
Take his in on screen.
Long time no. Oh, he's talking to Lorem. Yeah. They're talking about all the cash is going towards red coats, as we know. So you can't pick the shields. So the shields, going back to the badges real quick. Yeah, if you become a member, I think I put it at like $3 a month, just to support the channel. You can become a member, and what that is basically, it's just each month you're a member, the shield will change. So it's kind of almost like a trophy. Right, it's like a badge. So it's like, oh, you've been a member for a month, you get the first shield, and then if you stay a member for next month, you get another shield, and it goes from like month 1 to I think maybe 6, and then a year, and then it's like 2 years, 4 years, 10, 20, and I think it ends at like 20 years. So we'll see if the channel's still around by then. But so it's like more like a little achievement shield. So you can't pick them, unfortunately, but if you have a request, I could probably edit or change one of them. But it'll change when you get to the next like stage. So like you're not really. It's just kind of like a little hey, and most people have the standard YouTube. It's just like a little star, like a star, different color. But I was like, it gave me an option to upload my own, and so I like went into my little art program and just drew my own badges because I thought that would be more fun. So yeah, I don't know.
No, that's good. No, I've got one on the Monarchs channel. It changes every now and again over time.
That's
It's
cool.
nice.
Yeah.
Are you into the days when the Lego catalog meant something? That was it. It was sacred until you got the next one. That's Game Guru, and yeah, it's true, man. They had to look after them. That's what you have to take to school and stare at when you can't do Lego anymore. But the prequels were a big deal, and Lauren there just echoing a bit of what I said earlier on about, like, I don't know if anyone remembers, like, specifically the marketing campaign for Phantom Menace was just insane.
It was on everything, dude.
It was just like car shammy Jar Jar Binks, like didn't matter what it was. It had that red and black kind of colored sort of
all over the gold. I think there was some gold.
I mean, it was a pretty amazing rollout of marketing, to be fair, but it was like it got so saturated.
I think that probably defined something in a lot of our brains, like that. You're right. Now that I'm thinking about it, the marketing from Phantom Menace was out of control.
Yeah, it was
just
crazy.
Out of control. Yeah. Love for some Micro Machines there.
Micro Machines, Action Fleet. I love
Spacer
them.
says, you want to read Spacer here?
Yeah, coming from space, I was expecting more from these sets back then and was pretty underwhelmed by my friend's collection.
Interesting, yeah. Well, we'll take a look at them now. So I believe I
would love this one, like starting off on the 7101, the lightsaber duel. Like those are two of my favorite Phantom Menace characters. I would love that set. That's great.
It's super fun, yeah. So these are like, I mean, this is the first time Lego's really trying to figure out, what they're doing with an IP. So baby steps here. I love it for a lot of reasons, one of which is because they treated it almost like their own in-house Lego theme, where they would add a little bit. They would add either a background character that technically wasn't a named character in the movie, or they would add a little like build of some sort. Like there was no moisture evaporator, this weird ladder and antenna structure behind Darth Maul here. That wasn't in that scene, but they wanted to add more to the set. So they would create these little things that were very Lego oriented, Lego coded, if you will, right?
Well, yeah, through doing that all the time, those things would eventually end up in the Disney Star Wars films, just like off the back of all of the years worth of like circularization. So it just ended up all coming around.
Yeah, it's what I look for when I see a theme, especially a Lego theme. Like a Lego theme based on an IP. Is I want to see the IP represented in Lego. I don't want Lego to represent the IP the most accurately it can. And I know that's maybe another hot take or a crazy thing, because Lego now, they strive almost exclusively to make it look as accurate as possible to the IP that they're representing. Whereas back then, they fit the IP into Lego. And so that's where I think we've had this huge switch over the years, where like now the Tintin rocket doesn't look like Lego at all. I mean, it looks like a toy rocket. Like there's no studs exposed. The only thing that's Lego about it are the minifigs, and obviously it is made of Lego and it's pretty ingenious. I'm not saying it's like a bad design. I'm not interested in it because it doesn't look like Lego to me. So, that's kind of where we flipped the script, I guess, if you want to use that term, where
it's just a different demographic, isn't it? The people who want a Wellington boot on their shelf made of Lego that's completely smooth. Like that's a different. they aren't. Those guys aren't playing with Broadside's Brig. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, dude. I mean, that's a fair point. Yeah, we're in a different one. We're in a different time era. So I'm the old guy now. Weird enough to say that, and like I'm looking back and seeing how Lego used to do things and what I appreciated about it versus how they have to do things maybe now. Yeah. So it's a completely different world. But like on the optimistic side of things, we have both. We have all these sets we're going to look at. Right? They've already been done. You can go look at them. You can part them out. You can find the figs. It's a real thing. And then you have all the new stuff for all the people who like it. So we got it. It's not like these disappeared and you can't get them anymore. They're still here, just like the original films. That's why you got to remember, like, guys, the films are still there. We can still watch the stuff that we liked about the franchise without having to watch all the crap TV shows. Anyway, all right. Let's see. Black Falcon says we couldn't know back then how big and long-lived this theme would get. Yeah, and semi-credited for saving Lego. So there is that. Bionicle people say it was them, but
for sure.
I think it was
Well,
Star Wars
the
and
two,
Harry
maybe, but-
Potter. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Bionicle definitely put like some fresh blood into Lego, right? Like they infused it with something. But I think Star Wars and Harry Potter.
Can I ask a question? Is
Yeah.
kind of is a grey area for me. Is Slicers counted as Bionicle? Because I remember Slicers coming first. The disc throwers in the little cat, like there's like a different environment, like an ice one. And was that before or after Bionicle?
So before.
Okay,
so Slicers and Throwbots. I think they were called Throwbots for us. Yeah,
Okay.
I think in the United States they were called
Slicers for us.
Yeah. So in the US, I think they were called Throwbots. But Slicers was before. Yeah, that was kind of their like attempt. And then I forget the name of the guy who like made all the lore and really like did all the art and stuff for it. But
Doug Bricks loves
Faber, Adrian Faber or somebody. That might be the wrong first name, but it's Faber. I think somebody. Anyway, Christian Faber. I don't know. Look it up. Somebody in the chat can figure it out. I apologize. My information.
You can find him from Faber.
100%. But that guy, the father of Bionicle, we'll call him.
Yeah.
But he defined that concept of these technic like things into Bionicle, into the lore, into the elemental powers and like all of that, and like drew from like a lot of Eastern mysticism and lore and things like that. And then brought all that into like a kind of a story that then DC Comics picked up and did all the comic books for, which is quite insane. So I'm not going to say Bionicle didn't help save Lego, because I think they did, right? But I think it was a joint effort from Harry Potter, Star Wars, and Bionicle, kind of all dropping around the same time, that pulled Lego out of bankruptcy. So
for sure.
Just to say that real quick. Christian Faber. Okay. Thank you, Lauren. I knew someone would come through in the chat. Appreciate it, guys. I can't hit all of these comments. They're dropping in too quick, but I will pull up a couple more.
There's too many of them.
It's a trap. I don't even care for most new Star Wars content, but Andor is one of the best things I've ever seen, says.
It's dead good. It's dead.
I've only seen the first
I've only seen the first season.
Yeah, so we're excited about jumping into the second one here. Just have to find some time. Let's see. Crusader says the IP adapted into Lego is exactly what I want to see from Lord of the Rings. Yeah, and I will say they did a pretty good job when the first wave of Lord of the Rings sets came in, because Lego, obviously Lego's not going to look like this all the time. It needs to adapt and move forward just like any other thing. But so at the time it did feel like Lord of the Rings got kind of more pushed into Lego and was represented in Lego, where you have kind of just these weird little things in the world, or in a little elf or something popping up and stuff like that. So I think they did a pretty good job. They just didn't do enough. They needed another 30 sets to kind of flesh that out and make it a full theme. So they stopped too soon, I would say. But let's see. Chris, I get the point about realism, Jason, but some of the car sets look nothing like the original cars. So it's swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I don't like the car sets. So if they don't look accurate, that's just makes me happier.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I would say, as far as speed champions and stuff like that, I guess.
The only reason I like speed champions is because only mates who don't like Lego come to me at work or somewhere or at band practice and go, yo, I've got all these bits that come spare. I thought you might like them. So weird, silver 1x1s and stuff, just in a special little thing. So that's me and Speed Champions relationship. Other than that, I couldn't really care less. But I reckon my boy's gonna like him because he's pretty into cars. So
again, that's awesome. So that's a good reason to like Speed Champions. I don't like it very much at all. But I think again, you could say that they don't look anything like the car they're representing, which I think they are pretty close in my opinion. But I can guarantee you they look a lot closer to what they're representing than if they had been done in the 90s and they were 4 wide, because there is a Ferrari pulling through a McDonald's parking lot in the little McDonald's 90s set. And it's just like a 5-piece little chonky set. Yeah. So they're pretty close in my opinion, great. But I know nothing about cars. So I'm not a car guy. So,
but it's the impressionist nature of this 90s stuff, It's nice to see the broad strokes.
Yeah. All right, one more comment, and then we're going to actually talk about Star Wars Lego.
Cool.
My last theme before Dark Ages, my parents didn't want me to keep buying Lego because I should grow up. Yeah, that was the mentality back then. I got myself the first Slave 1 in 2000. Mother got really angry with me and took the fun out. That's a bummer. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was definitely the vibe back then. Like once you were like 12, 13, 14, getting out, you're like get on with your life, do your things.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't matter as much. People don't really care. The millennial parents, we're all millennial parents now, and we grew up with it. So
Yeah. What you want is Lego.
Slave 1 in 2000. That's a fun one. See, and that's why we'll probably do a couple of Star Wars episodes, because there's 4 years, roughly 4 years, probably 3. We'll do like 3 episodes, but like there's about it goes up to about 2004 where they switch over to the flesh tone. So like we'll do all the yellow stuff, and I think we'll probably do the same with Harry Potter too, and maybe Jurassic Park, because studios covered Spider-Man and Jurassic Park. So we'll get into it. But anyway, all right, let's take a look at this. We got Lightsaber Duel and Droid Fighter. We've been staring at this for a long time. These are 2 of the sets. I do want to say the alt builds are terrible on these Star Wars sets.
Look at that.
Yeah, I don't even know. Is that like supposed to be an alien from the movie down here?
It's supposed to be an Ewok.
Maybe. Is that an Ewok?
Because it's a pretty weird Ewok. It's like an Ewok and an ATST cross-pollinated somehow. I'm not sure what that is, but it's is it a droid? I don't know what that's meant to be.
This is
Let's try.
I want to say a vulture droid.
Yeah.
This is a vulture droid. This is a vulture droid. Yeah. And then as far as these little alt builds, what's fun about it, again, and this is why I think I like these Star Wars sets, is because they don't make alt builds based on the movies. They make their own ships and they make their own things. Now, I'm going to say, like, starting out, these are just out the gate, these are going to be bad. I looked at some of the alt builds. I didn't even bring in that many of them because they were so trash. But there was like 2. I think there's 2 that I think you and I will really actually like.
So that's interesting. Yeah, there's like a bit of a deviation away from alt build quality because of the hype factor of the main builds or whatever.
Yeah. So here we are. We've got Naboo Swamp and Anakin's Pod Racer. One of the best scenes in all of cinemas. You got that pod race.
Amazing.
Yeah. So here's the representation of the pod racer down here. And then, man, I got this little swamp for my birthday. I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, these little dang droids, clips on those don't work super well. So they would break.
Because of the early brown, the reddish brown or whatever.
Yeah, well, the reddish, or this is
normal brown.
I think it's normal brown. The clips for the little guns on the speeders did actually break a bit. And so do the little droid arms, the hinges and stuff they get. They're pretty fragile. They did a good job. They look like the droid, almost exactly like the droids from the movie. Yeah. But they are
a bit fragile.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, and then I love.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. I think you're going to say the same thing.
Yeah, just like the droid on Anakin's Pod Racer is more towards the Mtron droid side of things.
It's perfect. I love it. The little pit droid. Yeah. Yeah, the pit droids were so fun. And seeing the creativity of representing a pit droid. Again, this is nothing on this pit droid is a new piece. This is all from their Lego stock. They could have made making.
Oh, so that's where the brown clip.
Right. So it's a recolor of that part, but they could have been making pit droids in like the 80s.
Yeah.
Obviously the movie wasn't out then, but like all these pieces were available. So I think it's pretty cool. And then this is the kind of thing where when you saw this in the catalog, maybe you couldn't pick up this set. You could definitely make yourself a couple of pit droids at home, right?
Oh, for sure.
You don't need instructions. It's right there. So you're going to get that Star Wars magic even without having to buy one of the sets. So it was super fun.
It's meant. It's a shame they couldn't quite manage the trans purple.
For the electric.
Yeah.
I wonder why, because that is a new part, and I am curious as to why they didn't try a different color for the energy binders there.
Unless they were trying to show it failing or something. I don't know. It looks like
no, because it's that way on all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look at the
Might
other
have been the
pod.
only one they had. So obviously, it was obviously the only option they had. But like, I would have thought even trans blue would have been closer than to the trans purple than
Yeah,
that trans
I
dark
mean,
blue.
is this
Not in that.
these are trans neon orange, right?
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
good.
It's
to get.
cool. we do like trans
Right,
neon orange.
sorry, Ice Planet and
Yeah,
Ice
yeah.
Shot. Weird slip there. Yeah, and then I didn't like the tan thing at the time. I remember looking at the tan support and being like, oh, why couldn't they have used trans or something?
Right, which they did later because they do represent this later.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do use a trans.
You should have done trans tan.
Yeah,
yeah, no, cool. There is an absolutely goated element on this that I really like that tells the story of the shape of the cockpit of Anakin's pod. It's lovely, and it's the castle roof, like kind of dormer window part, the 45 slope with the bit that carries over. I really I rate that placement there because the shape of it actually does do that, and it tells that story in just one 2-piece placement, one either side. You've got
it's perfect, yeah. Because if you see it in the movie, it's that swoop, and it
marries up lovely with that 32 slope in the middle, the printed tile one, like it's, and there you've got, you're not far off then. So I think that is a very, very clever use.
And you also got the 1 brick high little like car doors with print blue with a little like the pod race print on them. Yeah, on the back. So like again, this is where we're talking about how they really just brought in most of the elements they already had. Obviously, I think the fins, the yellow fins on the race up in front are new, and then the connector, the binder pieces with the energy in them.
Yeah, man,
those are new pieces. But like, overall, obviously, and then the figs, right? The figs are their own thing. But like, yeah, man.
Really,
I mean,
really good part use, and it's like really in keeping with the in-house space. And that's why I said earlier, no shade when I say I felt bad that I knew this was going to replace space. But when you look at how well some of these were done, like you could tell.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they put all of what they had into it. I would say that for sure,
Yeah.
I think the fuselage, the gray fuselage engine part here.
Yes.
I think that was introduced in Star Wars as well. And that shows up on so many. It's dark gray on this, but they have white, red. They come out in a bunch of different colors, and it's like the primary engine piece on like the X-wings and things like that. So,
I got a button for insectoids.
I got a pile of those.
Gray.
Wait, on insectoids? They didn't come on insectoids, though, right?
No. I might have collected them in dark gray, and I'm wondering why. And I realize if it's old dark gray, it'll be good to fit in with the insectoids.
Yeah, you could definitely use them for that. K2's in the house. Just want to say hello. He says Star Wars, but with all builds. Exactly. Yeah, they don't do all builds anymore. And he says he loves Star Trek Legos with an S, so I appreciate that. He gets extra points in the chat for using S on the end of Lego. And now this is pod racing. It says absolute garbage. He's got to go. We got Bricks and Figs out of the house. Thanks for jumping in, dropping the comments. We
enjoyed the replay.
Yeah, thanks again for coming. The all builds is part of what Lego was losing traction with Star Wars fans. The other part was the subpar likeness. These were an expectation that Lego was supposed to create replicas. With the Legoverse. Yeah, I mean, and that's what they had. They lose their minds over that today, where it's like, I love the old molded Binks, I love the molded Watto and stuff like that. Now it's like a mold and a print, and it's like a triple molded colored, thing. Whereas like back then it was one color and it was just the mold of the creature, right? Yeah. So like, See, in my brain, like even as a kid that liked Star Wars and stuff, I never really thought like, oh, they should have done better with this. Like, I was always like, this is cool to see how they did it with Lego. Like, I don't know, like.
Yeah.
So I guess, but I could see people having a problem with that a little bit.
Potentially.
So those ones. Oh, and Josh asked if Seaweed was introduced here. I believe it was introduced a year or two earlier in Divers, right?
Yes.
Lego City Divers, something.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got Sith Infiltrator. Here it is, Darth Maul. I love the edit they did on the lightsaber here.
Yeah,
that's so fun. Although you can't actually tell what piece it is from this. Oh, and the lightsaber pieces. I don't know if the bar itself was introduced. It may have been, but definitely the transparent ones. Lightsaber bars were actually kind of hard to get.
Yes.
Like back then, if you didn't have a set that came with a lightsaber, I mean, yeah, I guess you could just grab these ones. You get two, but like, ooh, you got a blue lightsaber or whatever. Which set did it come in? And you could collect these colored, transparent little bars as the lightsabers, and that's exclusively what they were used for quite a while. So, yeah, this is a cool set. You got a printed part, a lot of old dark gray. They would add random accent colors that weren't in the movies, like all this blue here. And I just kind of like it. I think, it's color break, right? Like they just to like add more detail. And then you have, I love that it's just the little black minifig heads with like levers on top for the killer drones, the little assassin drones or whatever. They're just following him out. Ooh,
Well, it works, I guess.
That's my sound effect for that. Anyway. All right. Yeah. I mean, not a lot to look at. I don't think I even included the all builds. They were so bad. I couldn't.
Yeah. I can imagine they're bad for this because there's lots of bricks. So
yeah, it was wild, weird, like chunky looking ships or something like that. So, and then we have this one I remember looking at in the catalog a lot, the Naboo Starfighter. I wanted a lot. Like this one was big. I loved that I always thought this little machine next to the droids on the wheels. I was like, why is there a copier machine? Because that's what it looks like, a Star Wars copier machine. Like like you'd have in like an office. Like it looks like an industrial copy machine, dude. And I was like, why is there I mean, I like the parts on it, right? I was like, I still think it's cool it comes with it. I was just never entirely sure what it was supposed to be.
Trouser press, Jason. Come on.
Yeah. What do you think that is?
I have no idea. It's some sort of like equipment, something for the droids. But
I think it might be representing like the ladder thing that he climbs up into the cockpit with.
Oh yes, yeah, like you would get in like a Yavin base with the X-wing.
But I was never super sure about what that was.
No, I mean it's a decent, like I appreciate it now, and I like the 40 gradient something slope on the front, the 4x2 one. That's a nice slope piece. Or is that actually just a? Is that not that? No, it is. It's the one that's longer than a 33, isn't it? That at the front.
Which one?
The very front slope in the middle.
Yeah, so I think it's 4 long.
4, yeah.
Yeah, I think. So, I think there's.
Yeah.
I think there's more on the wings, the yellow ones, maybe.
Yes,
are those? I think they are. Yeah, there's a couple of longer ones, and that was kind of a. I don't know if that was that introduced as well in Star Wars.
I'm not sure. I'm trying to think because I can't remember much of it before. But then the stuff that's the other way around. Like I mean, it's a strange one. I was less impressed with the Naboo Starfighter, quite like the Gungan sub, but I couldn't for the life of me understand why on the Gungan sub they wouldn't go with those quarter curved bits from UFO with some of that printing on either side,
which they do later. The new one, from like 2000. I don't know what was that, 2018 or something.
But they had that part already, so someone just missed a trick there on this run because they printed the back bit.
I guess the new one isn't those UFO bits because those were gone, but it was the equivalent. It's that circular chunk that they use for like all the Mars mission ships. And stuff.
I mean they could have used the exact UFO one because they did use that for the droid battle tanks from outside theater.
They do. Yeah, so that's next year they bring out. So in 2000. They dropped the battle tank that has those UFO parts. They dropped the Millennium Falcon, which has all of those UFO parts. Okay. So they do actually utilize it, but this would have been a peak to put it up in the front here. Yeah, that's a good point. As is, though, I mean, it's got some really nice, like...
no shade. Again, it's just that it looks like they've struggled to get like a smooth gradient there using 33 slopes, and they've done a great job. It's impressionistically looks fine.
Yeah.
From a retro lens, it looks even more fine.
Right.
But just on the top of my head, I'm like, you probably could have used that part there. And
glorious exposed studs.
But it is nice.
Yeah,
it is nice.
But we got all the people in the chat jumping in. The favorite Star Wars ship. It's got all the chunky studs on top. Miss studs in full view. Sure. Let's see. This was the first time lightsaber hilts came out. Not only was it the first time they came out, they came out in chrome, and they were chrome for years. and then they switched them to the nasty black plastic and the gray plastic and the pearl gold and the chrome ones. Man, those are real Lego lightsabers.
Yeah, we need them chrome.
Someone said something about Lego Star Wars. It was and he says was early Star Wars the last gasp of alt builds before Lego sets moved from create this from Lego and more to here's that thing you like made out of Lego.
Yeah. So don't do an alt build, just build another one. Buy another one.
I think alt builds stayed alive for a few more years after this, and then they just put them all into. But I mean, yeah, this is kind of the last gasp, I believe. I think because like Lego Knights Kingdom 1 had some. I want to say maybe even Knights Kingdom 2 might have had some like alt build types stuff, but like once you get into like Lego Vikings, that's all gone. I mean, Viking alt builds would have made a lot of sense with the parts that you get in those sets, but so you're right. This is about it. Like I know Harry Potter had a bunch of alt builds too, but they only did that for a couple of years, and then it was done. And the only alt build thing left in Lego was the Creator 3-in-1 sets, which is still alive today.
Yeah.
Someone said, "Oh, here. I don't know if I can pronounce the name of this guy, but the best way Bjorn Teveskov. The best way I heard the build aesthetic described was by this guy. I'm assuming he's like a well-known, like maybe designer, maybe like at Lego. I don't know as much of the lore, history and stuff around that, but maybe he's a Lego designer. He said the older stuff was low resolution.
Yeah.
Hey man, we like our low res stuff. We're 90s kids. I was born in the 80s, but yeah, we're 90s kids. We like low res, man. Give me those low res shooters, the Doom. Give me Doom and some of those top down Zelda games.
That's the era. Yeah. That's the one. Ooh, Sebulba.
Yeah, most Espa pod race. And here's Sebulba. This one-piece molded creature that you can just sit in there. Wild looking thing. We'll get a close look at that, kind of a closer look at him later because I put him in a different set. I think this is a pretty cool set.
Pretty cool, man.
I like. Yeah, that's a good point. I like that they have the main.
I know that was a very generic thing to say.
No, you're right. You're right. They are pretty cool. I think this might be an exact build of Anakin's set. So you could either buy this set if you weren't rich, or you could buy this one if you were.
Yeah. And
you got the same set. But then I like the little tool stands, with those you got black and white flags, which is kind of cool, the black flags. You get a pit droid for each racer and like tool stands and things. I think Anakin's actually gets flags. I think overall they represented this pretty well. A build I forgot to add of my own creation, maybe we can add it if I can find it. I don't know that I can do that. I did another pod racer for this. And I did the little two-headed commentator.
Oh, I know. And you used the cockpit from like the Solar Snooper, but in light grey, which is about 25 quid.
It comes on. I guess it comes on some random like Millennium Falcon or something. I don't know. It's a hard piece to get.
But it looks perfect because you've got them upside down, haven't you?
So I'll try to pull that image in at the end. Because actually it's built in the same aesthetic as these old pod racers. And then I think the next year after this, so in 2000, we got Watto's Junkyard, which came with 2 more. So I have both of those sets, and you can like set all the pod racers up in like a line, and you get it. They look nice, dude.
I bet.
But I remember playing Episode 1 Pod Racer
on the N64.
Yeah, you played I played it on the PC, but like. Man, was that insane. And so like seeing these ships represented, and you could like actually buy them in the game or gamble for them and then like upgrade them and race with them and stuff. It was one of the best things ever. So I really liked it. The other character, you can't really see him here, but he's way back there. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but he's got, the only thing special about him is his head. He's got a head print, and the rest of him is built out of like droid arms and like random space pieces.
Random.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Gascanos.
Gascano, that's him. Yeah, sorry, Gascano. He might be one of my favorite Lego Star Wars figs, and I'm saying that mostly to piss people off, but also I think he's peak. So
it's the best. His is the best engine design of the three on here.
His pod is, yeah. Look at the way they use those hatch pieces in green.
Maybe not the pod, maybe not the cockpit bit, but the actual engine bits. I really like those angles.
Also, getting 8 of those green hatches.
Yes.
Anybody doing like Armada roofs or something like that? Come on.
Oh yeah, for
what
sure.
Are we talking about?
That's it. But like the caps, the curved caps on the end of Sebulbas, as impressive as they are, and exactly like they are, they're quite what's the word? It's quite fragile the way they're just all stacked up on brackets. They could
and they leave the gap too.
Yeah. The little
recess. Which again, the little recess there from the plate. The bracket, which back then they didn't. This was before they made before they made brackets that went up under.
Yeah,
it was just the ones that hung over.
Brackets, no. Yeah. And again, some people might think, "Wow, that's a bit pernickety, Jim." I'm just noticing it and calling it out. Like it's still remarkable for the time, and it looks so much like the shape. So it's not shade but like when it's just interesting because you look at these things from the late 90s, early 2000s, and you can see where we've come from then. But and then in other instances, you think, they got it better in the olden day. So it's interesting. And the olden days of 90s Star Wars. But I'm sort of, the more I'm looking at these, the more I'm remembering how I felt at the time, just from time staring at these images. And I remember how I think it was this trans neon orange couplink electricity bolts. I just couldn't get past them. I don't think I wanted that purple, and I was just like, I'll just get
I don't think they
actual one. But they now it doesn't matter. It's much of a muchness now.
Well, they didn't.
To me, in 1990, what was it? 1997, 9, whenever Phantom Menace come out. Yeah, this is 99, isn't it? But when Phantom Menace.
No, it came out in 99.
Oh, it did come out in 99.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, they dropped them with the movie. Sorry. That's like we were talking about. The marketing was out of control. They did everything perfectly.
I always feel like there was something else that came before, and I remember what it was. It was the special editions with the extra little CG bits. They replayed at the cinemas again, and we all went back and watched them, and then everyone was hyped on that for a couple of years, and then we got Phantom Menace.
Totally. Yeah. I don't know. Did they have transparent purple back then? I guess they might have, actually. Or did they not? But Belleville might have had it, actually. Yeah. Or even transparent pink. I don't know, man. I don't know why they made it.
They had transparent dark blue, and that would have been closer than that. So it's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just interesting more than anything now.
Yeah. Jump into the chat, K2. Here's that thing you like made out of Legos, exactly what they do now, and it feels like the only thing they do these days. It's over 50% of their library is just that. It's like, here's a vase you like with flowers in it. Here's that, here's that mushroom you saw in your yard. Now you can build it.
And by the way, it's £2,000.
Yeah. What is it? Yeah, we've abolished. Well, now you're making my brain go that way. We've gotten rid of the theme, and we've got the set. Now it's the SpongeBob set. Now it's the Zelda set. And if you're lucky, you'll get another $500 one next year. But you're not getting a theme. Lego doesn't do themes anymore. Not really in their IPs. There's a couple that are still clinging to life. Harry Potter, probably the most notable one. And then maybe.
No, it's true.
What's the other one? Star Wars.
No,
I think Star Wars is still technically unofficial theme, but everything else is
but it's a bit messy.
It's super messy now, but
No,
anyway.
it's Lego they have a bit of a commitment problem with committing to themes. Bit of an issue with theirs. Not sure what's all that's all about. General Tron, welcome. Late but present, but better late than never.
It's true. Lorem says, "Oh my God, don't get me started on the current day of Lego." Yeah, well, and I was just going to say.
This isn't about that. This is 1999.
Lorem will tell you more of why Lego's doing what they're doing if you want to talk to him about that, because he's really been digging into that more. But a really easy one is potentially produce less amount of sets, still make the same amount of money, right? So you can sell one big thing in a theme that people are obsessed with for $500, or you could sell $510 sets. Well, they don't want to produce $510 sets to make the same amount of money they would sell one set. So it is really just kind of a kind of a price out the pores, still make the same amount of money selling to the rich people, and we'll just do the big sets. We're not going to spend all the time, effort, marketing, instruction manual designing, box designing, all the art, all of the effort that goes into making 12 different sets for a theme when we can just throw the highlights of a theme into one set every year for that theme. It's pretty weak. It's honestly pretty depressing and sad. And it actually, I would say, goes directly against what Lego's original intention was.
Oh, yeah.
But that's kind of my take, at least on that part of it. Now, on the other side, I don't want some of the themes that they're producing anyway. Like, I don't necessarily want 60 Shrek sets,
No.
If you're just going to do a set. Now, I wouldn't mind maybe a nice array of Zelda sets or Lord of the Rings coming back as an actual theme, but anyway, not to get completely sidetracked on that, but I think that's kind of what they're up to.
Worthy side quest.
So, that's where we're at. Here, I want to bring these up real quick. This is those two we looked at, and here are the alt builds for these. I did pull these in.
The Mac.
Yeah. Well, that's number 1 of 2 that I think are okay. There are 2 mechs actually. The mech made out of the Anakin spot, or not Anakin, the Naboo fighter. Yeah. That one's not too bad. I like the use of the cockpit that way.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. The drag racer is wild. I hate that, but it is funny they use the little wheels on it. But I think the mech
and to city drag on the city drag strip, get it on.
Yeah,
with the boosters.
I would say out of the ones we've looked at so far, the Naboo sub alt builds aren't the worst thing I've ever seen.
No. At least they're like thought out sub builds. It's just those sideways mounted wings on the bottom droid that you just mentioned had a really cool cockpit, which it does. It almost like a transformer now, because it's like when they're in biped mode, the wings just go vertical or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like an aerial bot or something for the Transformers fans out there.
And honestly, it's cool, man. That little fighter that Obi-Wan is cruising around in above the mech is okay. Oh, and even that little, was that like a mini sub they made with propellers?
Yeah, the mini sub's cool. I was going to say I prefer the mini sub than the other one's a bit like plates loosely bolted onto plates to make it.
Reminds me of some of those alt builds for like the smaller space themes where they really just have like a wing to work with.
Exactly.
And just stick the guy on top. So those are the alt builds. I just want to pull this in. It is fun to see alt builds from licensed products because it's a pretty short window where that was happening.
Yeah.
So then we'll jump in. So that's the first wave of Lego Star Wars 1999 for the Phantom Menace. They dropped a wave of Phantom Menace Lego sets because it was the same year that movie was released. And then they dropped a wave of original trilogy sets cutting across kind of all the movies. Some of the most iconic things that they thought they could bring in. So you get little like snapshots of all 3 movies. And then they've kind of always done that. But as movies came out moving into the future until now, but up until I think Solo, when Solo came out, they would do a wave of sets for that movie. So they did a wave of sets for Rogue One. They did a wave of sets for Solo. They did a wave of sets for Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. And then it was after that they started dispersing into all kinds of stuff, and they didn't really have as many consistent waves based on the new Star Wars movie. And then they stopped making Star Wars movies. So, it's an interesting. So here's these guys. We have speeder bikes and land speeder.
Both pretty solid. Main builds.
I don't know if this is the first time we got these. Is this a redesign of that engine piece on the speeder from Classic Space, or is that the original piece?
You mean the
first time in tan? Yeah, the land speeder.
I think it is from before. I think it appeared in City on some planes or something. But I think is it not that like that skid piece in space that they would put on the spaceships in like black and gray and stuff?
Where's it different?
It's not the same one because this one has got those. Those haven't got those studs at the side.
Okay, so it isn't kind of a redesign.
When I look at it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like a different piece. And it's what's funny is they didn't need those. They don't even use the studs in the design. So if it was for this, they didn't need to, unless that's to resemble something that is on the actual one in it, like impressionistically.
I don't think it is.
But
I think I do appreciate though that they thought about even the parts that they, because again, this is a different mindset. Now they'll produce a piece that's specifically for a theme, and you can't use it for anything else. They put studs on the exterior because they're like, well, maybe someone's going to use this or clip something to it, clip a detail plate, right, with like engine printing on it, or like all those tiles, the 2x1x2 tiles that old Space came with all the little screens and buttons. You can fit one directly over that. So they thought ahead when they designed this piece, So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's they're definitely innovative. I mean, the way they handled the shape of the classic iconic land speed is nice. I don't think you can't get R2 on the back on this one, can you?
Mm-hmm. No, they did fix that in later versions, but
later on that game. But this one, I think the speeder bike's fantastic. I think it's probably my favorite version of the speeder bike ever, even though there's been loads. I love the Imperial Soldier's backpack in grey on the back there.
Isn't that nice?
I think I have got a bag of a few of those just for kind of weird.
Yeah, Civil War soldiers.
Yeah, I get stuff like that. I might have like about 20 red coats, but then maybe I want to make one that's a bit of like a missionary guy. There's something a bit edgy about him. And
or you could do a whole like group of like special forces with like different color uniforms and gray packs.
But if you can angle them on that hinge with the little finger hinge with the little bar and a stud on the top, you can make some quite nice like backrests and cockpits out of it as well. So your minifig just leans back. The roll at the top kind of looks like the neck thing of a cockpit.
That's really clever.
So you can do some stuff like that with them as well if you can really be bothered to get into the technical.
I like that. I could see that on some cool stuff. And he's out, got to beam out like they do in Star Wars. This guy.
beam me up, Luke.
Yeah, beam me.
It's the lithium crystals, Vader.
He looks forward to watching this tomorrow. Appreciate the watch back. Yeah, that definitely helps the channel. That's how we got monetized at all, was the watch hours. That was it. I was just waiting for those to bump up to the next thing, and now we have the badges and the subscriptions. So super exciting stuff. Thanks for joining, Andy. Steven is here. Me and my friends sent a letter to Lego back in the 90s with our painted crappy concept art suggesting they should do Star Wars. Well, you're the reason then. It's all you, man. Are you the reason they killed Lego's classic space and made Star Wars instead?
It was genuinely some people's dream come true, this, Genuinely. Absolute dream come true.
Here, why don't you read this from
Lauren Martin's saying that system logo was a signal to the Star Wars fans that they were guests in the Lego system of play. Accuracy to the source material is secondary.
Interesting.
I think it's quite, I see what you mean. Yeah, they are heavy on this. They are very system compliant and haven't started doing weird things yet. But the old build is the thing that's fake.
Yeah,
I mean this land speeder up builds. Absolutely.
Well, besides the jets
you
on the
can't see where you're going if you turn left or right.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't even know. There's blast shields or something. The original, I think the original design of the land speeder up at the top here, besides those weird little jet pieces, I think it's built entirely of parts they already had.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, I mean, and even these little speeder bikes. I mean, look at the use of the prong hinges with a little stud stuck into the end of those. Those little cannon parts. I guess those cannon parts were new, but like the rest of it's pretty standard Lego pieces. Also, I loved when I first saw these little Scout Trooper helmets, man.
Yeah.
These are so cool. And they actually have the cutout. They're not printed. They're cut out for the glasses. And so if you take them off, it's a dude with a big like windscreen kind of glass goggles. And then like a little, like, he's not smiling either, which was big. Like these guys they're serious. They're not the little smiley guys anymore. So
no, that's it.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun to see too. Let me pull in a couple of the slides because we've capped out. That's the other thing. If we can buy the darn software, we can add more slides so we don't have to wait for them to load.
Yeah, we can get super comprehensive then.
Yeah, then we might get out of control of that. All right, so here we go. We're bringing in the next couple of ones. We have the Snowspeeder, which that brown visor just out of the gate, that brown visor makes this set incredibly expensive because it's that little snowtrooper dude, not snowtrooper, but like Rebel base defender.
Yeah,
he's got a brown, like classic space visor. And then, of course, the X-Wing, probably one of the, I would almost say the most iconic ship out of Star Wars. I think the Falcon might beat it, but by very little. X-Wing is one of the most iconic ships ever. So
definitely
got that one built out.
I was a big Snowspeeder fan, and I loved another one that I really enjoyed. I wasn't as much for the X-Wing. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was bad. You know, it's big, it's hard to do an X-Wing, so it's pretty amazing actually. But the Snowspeeder, I really liked at the time. I thought, oh, they've done me proud there. I feel a bit seen there because it's got all the right and stuff, and they do get a little bit better than this as we go on. But I quite like the one straight out the bat.
The Snowspeeder looks a lot like
on the GameCube and stuff.
Yeah. What was that last bit?
Reminds me of like the ones from the computer games like Rebel Strike and Rebel GameCube were like
Rogue Squadron. Do you ever play Rogue
Squadron on the M64 was sick. That was great.
I would play that. I played the heck out of Rogue Squadron. The first time you use a Snowspeeder on like Corellia, I think. Maybe,
you're in the city, aren't you? Yeah,
and you're like flying, and like you have to. There's like three AT-ATs you have to take down before they blow the city up. It's almost. I was like, I could not figure out how to like drop the cable correctly, and like it was one of the hardest things I'd ever done. Like this it was crazy.
Once you figured it out, even once you figured it out, like, it was all about timing then.
Well, once you figured it out, and you were hooked to the leg. Like you could still fly into the leg and blow up. Like it would kind of grab the back of your like. Yeah, it was a wild time. It was a fun game though for sure.
You froze on me, dude.
Oh, we good? We're still frozen.
Oh, it's back now.
You didn't freeze on my end, but if we get delay, let me know and we can jump back.
You froze on my end, but I didn't.
Okay.
Never mind. We're back now. Ooh. Yes, very nice builds. Brown visor. Wolftron. If you can get one. That is a sought after minifigure if you can build a Wolftron. X-Wing, never heard of it. Will this be a recurring model? Yeah, it's a bit unusual, isn't it? I was thinking that.
They only made this one. They've never done it since.
Yeah, they should bring this back, I think. You know, I mean, a ship like this deserves
at least another one.
Second run.
I think it's the most built or the most produced Lego Star Wars ship ever, right?
Yeah.
Falcon's up there too, but I think the X-Wing might have beat it.
Yeah.
They bring out. It seems like they produce an X-Wing.
Thanks to Poe Dameron and his friends.
Yeah. Way to go, Oscar.
Way to go, Poe.
Is that his name, Oscar Isaac? Speaking of Oscar Isaac, now that we just brought that up, you go watch the Frankenstein movie. It's pretty good.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
On Netflix. He plays Dr. Frankenstein.
It's a good time. I will check that out. I might have a little bit of a some evening mock time coming up, so maybe I'll substitute part of it for a film. That sounds like a good idea.
If you watch it, actually let me know what you think because it's super. Like everyone I talked to hated it. I thought it was fantastic. However, I was one of the only people that I know that went to go see it in the theater because it was an extremely limited release, and we had to drive an hour and a half to go see it in a theater.
Okay.
And everyone else just watched it on Netflix, and something about watching it on TV versus a movie screen, I think, in my opinion, made it way worse of an experience on the TV. Whereas, like, it looked incredible to me. I thought it was so cool. So
I'll just turn all the lights off and really immerse.
Really make you yourself think you're in
the cinema vibe when I'm doing it.
I am curious your opinion. Not to I don't want to skew it too much, but No.
I will go in there, non-biased, and just take it in, and we'll chat about it. Maybe even next week.
Sweet.
Sounds good.
All right. Not to derail the conversation. Chris Jones, new member. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That really does mean a lot. Yeah, we need a little light bell or something. Ding, 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 ding,
ding. Do, but I'll get these two action Star Wars guys, and we'll just fly those around in celebration. Yeah. These aren't Lego at all, but they're kind of relevant because I mentioned them earlier.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Josh,
congratulations. That was for you.
Thank you. And thank you for joining, Chris. We really appreciate you being here. I think you've been in every live, I believe. You're one of the first people that jumped on the show, I think.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks for being
Regular.
a long-term member. Josh said he watched the Frankenstein movie and liked it. Cool. All right. We'll move on from that. It's the same actor who plays Poe Dameron from the unmentionable, what do you call that? Continuing saga? It's sequels, I guess.
Sequels, yeah.
Yeah. And here's the flagship set of the original trilogy when it dropped in 1999. This is TIE Fighter versus X-Wing, or TIE Fighter and X-Wing. Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, and it's interesting because we didn't get a normal TIE Fighter for a few years after this. So you could really only build Darth Vader's, I think it's called the Advanced TIE Fighter, TIE Advanced.
Yeah.
The only set to come with Darth Vader for a while as well, I believe. And then it might be a generic smiley face, like little Lego guy in the Y-Wing. I don't know, because Luke was in the X-Wing.
This will be another rogue guy, another red pilot. This is actually my favorite ship in all of Star Wars, the Y-Wing. I love the Y-Wing.
It's cool.
I like this one. I like some of the ones that come later, but this one's pretty cool. It was a good start.
I mean, it's pretty chunky.
Yeah.
But it's impressive for what parts they were able to use and make it look pretty good.
Well, I like the way they handled the engines, like with the half golf ball dome tops, and then using those, that awkward hollow bit on the back of Y-Wings. Obviously, they did a much better job later, but at the time, this could have been like 1x12 plates, up dodgily around something back there. So the solution with those 4x4 round bricks with the technique pinholes at each side, I think is quite a good solution for this. And I like the top cannon above the cockpit as well. That's another great bit. I really rate this.
Yeah.
I like this specifically.
I like the X-Wing. I like the insectoid eyeballs. That's what those are, right? The little
it's those.
In white. It's the first. That's a recolor for that. Yeah, those long Technic poles that hold the back engines in place. I mean, the TIE Advanced, all of these ships were pretty fragile. The X-Wing, the TIE Fighter, they fell apart pretty easily. That was a big thing where Lego had to push a lot in the design side of stuff to create more solid ships, because that was a big complaint coming off of the parents and like some of the kids playing with them. They just fell apart. And so they were learning, right? They were learning how to create, and I think that was the challenge. It was not just because they could build ships that stayed together. They did a lot of classic spaceships up through the ages, right? Some of those were pretty sturdy. Some of them aren't, but it was capturing the shaping of these specific ships. They needed to, regardless of how accurate or less accurate you want Lego to be, they at least do need to represent what they look like. So they were trying to catch these shapes and create more stable ships. I think the Y-Wing was pretty stable, but the X-Wing with the wing that's flying, off at weird angles. And then
there's quite a lot built up on that wing as it's angled as well. So no, the Y-Wing was always a sturdy guy. He's apart from those back engines if you don't get them right. But yeah, it's just I just love the ship. I just love it. I love what it does. I loved playing it in Rogue Squadron. Funnily enough, that we just talked about.
Dude, I love the Y-Wing, and one of the best Y-Wings in my opinion was the one they dropped for Rogue One. It comes with that cool like Wookiee kind of creature. Yeah, and he's got like a big pack on his back with a weird gun and stuff like that thing. Just that minifig alone, I believe, is a cool fig to get. But like then the way they did the shaping and all the detail on the X-Wing for the Rogue One movie is really cool.
You mean the Y-Wing?
Sorry, Y-Wing. Yeah. This one, the Y-Wing. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. That's one of my favorites.
No, you're right. There was another one as well. Was it the one for Force Awakens? They used quite a lot of like curved tiles for the engine bit and got quite detailed. That I had that one for a bit and then sold it when I was getting all this pirates and Black Knights lock.
Yeah, I mean,
stuff.
You got to sell off the Star Wars to get. If you don't have the Castle and Pirate
Yeah.
stuff, you got to sell off the Star Wars to get the Castle.
I was going to sell the Millennium Falcon, but I just harvested it for light grey, for medium stone
Dude,
grey part. Like,
That's
it's
sometimes what
perfect.
you got.
I always use those wedges in like
Yeah.
space or castle, so it's cool.
Yeah.
And here we have
So
some
up-
old builds. Let's see.
Yes. So up top, again, just some horrendous stuff. These are the alt builds for the pod race.
Yeah,
I just threw them up the top there. I
amazing.
kind of love the alt build, whatever this thing is, the fighter
Yeah.
at the top, dude. It looks like it uses parts of both of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's supposed to be a ship from Star Wars. It almost looks like one. I don't think it is, but man, I like the shape. I would
I agree.
I would maybe build this, to be honest. Out of all the alt builds we looked at, in my opinion, this is
For
the best
sure.
one.
Now, can I just be clear on which one we're talking about? Are you talking
Yeah,
about
it's the one with the
one with the
engine
Y-wing and
facing
Darth Vader's
forward.
tie?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It
below one.
is
Yeah,
very nice. It's got
Yeah.
like a bit of a Unitron vibe. It's also
Exactly.
got like a bit of a Star Wars vibe as well, but maybe like something from the Rogue One era. I don't know. Like it's kind of, you can't quite tell whether it's offense or cargo, but it's those quite invasive front engine bits look cool, like if they're cannons or whatever. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah. K2
yeah.
likes that one. That Y-wing alt looks pretty.
Yeah, that's the one we're on
great.
about. K2, yeah, decent.
Uh,
And you're right, he uses parts of both, but for sure.
What it says? What was that last bit?
It uses parts of both for definite.
Yeah, I think it's a combo. Yeah, which I
Yeah.
think really helps it a lot.
Yeah, the blue and white.
Chris Jones says, let's talk about Lego was always midnight here in the UK, so this is much easier to get on live.
Yeah. for sure.
Yeah. I know you, Jim, you would jump on at midnight when Andrew and I were doing the Let's Talk About Lego
Always. In a way, I missed the midnight specials because when it got to a point where like I was doing that through my teacher training, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but they were worth every minute. Great, it's always good to talk about Lego. So it's I enjoyed those shows with you and Andrew. Shouts out to Bit Monarch.
Yeah, for sure. Vader has a light gray head. Yes, his head is light gray, and he's got like scars and stuff like printed on it. It's a pretty gruesome head. It's pretty cool though. Sitting on my shelf right now. Some of the originals are worth like. Look, I mean, I have a bunch of these old ones. I just got a hold of the X-wing and the Snowspeeder. I don't know if I have that little brown visor guy, but I got a bin of used Lego from somebody, and 2 of these were sitting in there along with the A-wing. And then like I got this a while back. I have literally. I'm not trying to like brag, but like I guess what I'm saying, these 2, the Naboo Starfighter and the Gungan Sub and the TIE Infiltrator are all sitting sealed on my shelf. I will be opening those and building them. Like I collect the old Star Wars stuff. I'm considering selling off some of my current Star Wars stuff. I have the entire Rogue One theme, and I have all multiples of the battle packs, multiples of the U-wing, and multiples of the Walker, the ATS
Amazing.
Came in that, and somebody I'm sure out there wants that whole collection. I'd probably sell for a nice, pretty penny. I'm considering, getting rid of some of the more modern stuff to go back and get the old stuff, or like some of the things that I want to get. But yeah,
sentiment.
But no, some of these old ones, I'm actively still buying like yellow minifig Star Wars sets. Like that's definitely, I collect the figs, I collect the old Lego Star Wars stuff. So those Lego alternative builds are not canon and unacceptable. I mean, that's what. I think that's part of the reason why they got rid of them, at least out of the Star Wars stuff, was because they were non-canon. All right, let's throw your. I think that's it for the wave. So that was the first wave. We just kind of looked at all of the sets that came out for that first wave of Lego Star Wars. They did. We will eventually take a look at the next 3 years or so of Lego Star Wars in sporadic episodes going into the future, because you got to look at the old Falcon, right? You got to look at the B-wing. You got to look at some of these old ones. So we'll do that at some point. We got somebody jumping in here. What's up, guys?
What's up, Dave?
Welcome to the chat. We are just getting to we're just getting to the mocks now. We took a look at the first wave of 1990 9 Lego Star Wars sets, and we're now going to drop in a couple of our mocks. Jim, you put about what? You said you threw this together in 25 minutes?
Started making this at 5:30. We go live at 6. I finished it about 7 minutes before we went live. It was just a speed build, really speed build, because I really wanted to do. It's been really busy in the household the last few days, and although work's out, my little boy was unwell a little bit, so it's been a bit hectic.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to contribute something, so I mocked up something. And the first thing that came to mind, I was kind of trying to think of something obscure, and I always really loved this this land speeder that doesn't get much airtime in A New Hope, and it's the V35 Courier land speeder, and in a classic style. So I just rendered this quick POV ray. That's a 28-minute build right there, and that's my solution to the V35. And I am open to the abuse that may follow, because it's not not amazing. It's got a basic vibe, but it's a nice exercise sometimes to put a limitation on yourself. You never know what the pressure might cause. So here's that.
I like it. I think it fits pretty well with the original feel. I would potentially, the only criticism I would draw or drop on it is that plate on the front above the windscreen. If you could figure out a way to make that either they don't really have, back then they didn't really have a 4. Did they have a 4 wide like angled plate you could match?
Yeah, they got the wedge. You got the old-fashioned wedge, but
you just have to figure out.
If you look at the actual vehicle, there's like a
very distinct
square, weird shape on the top of it that doesn't follow the contour of the windscreen.
Oh, it doesn't. So this is accurate.
So the only way I could sort of say that with less bricks was just with that plate, and I didn't cover the studs. I
like it, man.
Some tiles on, so
I feel like this
that shape.
Yeah, I feel like this is right.
I've noticed one thing I've done wrong in my haste, and that is that the two slope at the front, the two slope cockpits for the windscreen, the bottom one's okay. The next one up should have been the one with the very, very hollow inside. I think that's like a block, like a translucent block, as in like very old basic era Lego that had like a windscreen that was a whole brick thickness. That shouldn't be that. That should have just been a clear, like the one you get on Rescue from System Era. So I'll put my hands up to that one, but yeah, I might. This is just a sneak peek, like a prototype. I might tart this up and throw a bit more time at it, and maybe drop this on the channel.
I think this has got some potential, man. You know what would really bring this for me is somehow making that little weird elephant-looking guy that goes. Bzz, 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 bzz.
Yes.
Put him in the back with like a small tan, like domed, like entrance to the cantina, maybe just like on the back as like the secondary build. Dude, you've got it. That's a set right there, man.
He's got it. Yeah,
I love that.
I think that's what I'll do.
K2 says he'd cap it at the fleshies. Yeah, once we switch to fleshies, I probably won't be digging too much into the Lego Star Wars stuff anymore. The Yellow Years says that. Kaveh Robinette jumps in. He's one of my buddies. He says, I'm not trying to brag, but I have all the coolest vintage Lego Star Wars sets sealed on my shelf. Crown or King. I guess I did say that. That's, sorry. I mean, basically, my point was that I have these.
No, you've got to mention it when you've got it, because that's how I am with Mtron. As soon as I talk about I've got them all, because it's the only time I can say that properly.
Right. My point was I collect them. I'm actively, most of those I got through trading other stuff from the shops around. We have a lot of local Lego shops, and so I trade stuff to get those. But yes, I am still actively seeking the classic Lego Star Wars stuff. Lorem says, I love it. That's a fast bit, or so fast as far as that. Absolute Garbage says, bro, I love this.
Hey, thank you very much.
Lars Fam Speeder.
I have the micro machine of this. It's ace. I love that micro machine as well.
Is this
exactly the one you're on about?
Oh, that's a different one, not this. Right. What did you call this? Do you remember? You told me the name.
It's a V35 Courier land speeder.
Okay. There you go. He's got the lore. The vehicle as a brim.
The vehicle has a brim.
Oh, it has a brim. So like you said, so it is 100% accurate. That's so funny. The one critique is the one thing that they actually did in the movie that I thought was wrong.
It's hard not to cap that. It's difficult not to cap that top off with the wedge bit that you were going to suggest, because it's the natural thing to do. You have to kind of go against your instinct a bit.
I wonder if a tile, maybe getting it
Yes.
I wonder if you could put like, what's that one? It's the 4x4 with a
4x4
of it tiled, and then just a strip on the end with the studs. Although the exposed studs is pretty leans into the old.
Well, this is the thing we've because I originally had it. If you see where the hinge plate takes it up another level, I originally had that whole like 5x4 section that's exposed studs tiled, and then I looked at it. I was like, no, it needs to be uglier, please. So.
You gotta ugly it up, make it better. Some of these are better than I remember it. I like they did a better job on the more obscure stuff. I think he's talking about that was Spacer Nate just talking about the sets. I think in general, the Lego Star Wars in general. Shocked y'all had a mock-up for these. How many sets did BAM steal?
Jason's got some incredible mocks for this. Wait till you see this.
We're gonna bring that in and see. In just a second, I'll drop a couple of these mocks. I don't think BAM stole any of the stuff that we looked at today. That was all allegedly. BAM didn't steal any. I don't know what you're talking about. But that was all later. His collection was a bit later, I believe. I don't know that he had any yellow Star Wars stuff in there. All right, so jumping in and to the mocks, we're going to throw these on here. This is the way I did this was I always wanted to kind of cover things that either Lego didn't cover or the movies didn't really cover. And so this is my first one. It's Tosche Station. You only hear about this, and there are deleted scenes of this, but you only hear about it in passing in the New Hope, where Luke says something about I want to go over to Tosche Station to pick up some power converters. That's my
You can waste time with your friends later.
Yeah, exactly. That scene. So the Tosche Station is this place. It's similar. It looks similar to this. I did pull up like some cross sections images online, and I drew for some inspiration from the actual deleted scenes. But it actually, in my opinion, had a pretty big impact on the movie, like because it brings more character to Luke, because he had connections with a guy that went to the academy to become a rebel, like soldier, and then he met Biggs Darklighter later in the movie, and they had a reunion. But that reunion doesn't mean as much because you don't see him at the beginning of the movie. Yeah.
It's all off. The whole history is off screen. You can see, and you feel it when they reunite, but you don't fully feel it because you don't have the previous. Whereas it makes sense when you see that deleted scene. And I think, such a really, really good choice of set to do, and like so well executed as well. I mean, there's so much to like talk about on this build, Jason. It's one of like you've done some incredible Star Wars mocks like Theed and stuff, but this one is I really like it. I really like the way you've used the castle wall panels. And managed to keep it kind of feeling very space-esque. There's not much about this that I don't sort of tip the cap to and say that's fantastically done, which is nothing new when we're talking about your builds, mate. But there's a lot. It's a good choice before the build. It's a really good choice of build. So, and then you execute it well as well, so it has a double impact. So, yeah, and I like the interiors, like really well thought out too.
Thanks. Yeah.
Was this something that you've got planned for a while to do, or is this like one that you kind of was this one of you, Jason? We're going to just make it and go through it.
Oh, you mean like thought about?
Well, I know that you thought about it, but was this one that you kind of planned out and drew out a little bit? Or
I did. Well, so when I was building this, I did pull up a couple of reference images. So this one had a little more thought into it than perhaps something just off the top of my head, for sure. Yeah, and there's some cool things that it does. I don't know if you can tell behind the first Jawa, there's a hinge plate. Do you see that by that? So that actually opens.
Yeah.
So I don't even show that. I don't think.
I can see. You can see.
Oh no, I do. It does. That's where that build hinges on the stairs, kind of. And that's what you see.
Like a little arch that goes under. And
so that kind of hinges open. I'm not even sure if it does much for the build hinging like that, but I'm not sure why I did that. There might be something underneath the stairs that kind of is exposed when you hinge that open.
I think it's because you can configure the station differently as well.
I think that might have been also, posability and display. You can turn it and it makes a different shape. And then the roof comes off, so you can kind of get inside there. There is like this. It's a cool station, and I think they show this. They might show. I can't speak for sure, but they might show part of Tashi Station in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
I don't remember, but there's like this weird, like almost glass curtain area where you can drink and like hang out in the front, which I do have shown up here in the front. And then the back is like a repair place, like a station where you can buy parts and like repair your ships and stuff. So I have some speeder engines and things back there. It's like a mechanic area. And then there's a hallway that goes into the more like, you can buy parts, power converters, and you can buy, and then you can have drinks in the front and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's just like so Tatooine. It's like, you're ordering, or we'll get the Jawas on doing some repairs. You sit in here and have a drink, network with some guy who's shipping something to this system, and and that's the kind of the ethos and the vibe, the etiquette at the Tashi station, and it's nice. It's well done.
Yeah, deleted scenes, General Sean, absolutely. Nice use of the Adventurer's car piece, says K2. Yeah, because I was like, I wanted to build it completely different than Luke's original land speeder from the set we just looked at. And so that was a good way of building a 4 wide, I believe it's 4 wide land speeder, while still fitting 2 minifigs inside. So that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it is. It's nice.
This one pisses me off so much that I can't outright buy it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I mean, even like for where you'd normally go, we'll just mock it. There's some sneaky stuff here. There's some rare light grey shutters. There's some rare light.
Yeah. You could probably switch those to tan or white.
But yeah, you could probably do that. But it's a really, really good build, isn't it? This is not one that you've got instructions for, right?
No, not yet. I don't have any other Star Wars stuff, but I will. Okay. I will. I intend to. It's just I got some other more important things like the River.
Oh, of course. So. and they stole one of yours, didn't they?
Totally stole one. Yeah. So you're getting me into Star Wars. Oh, sorry. What was that?
I said I totally forgot about the one they stole from you.
Right. Lorm says, you're getting me into Star Wars Lego with this stuff like this, Jason. This is acceptable. This should have been the goal from Lego. I appreciate that. You know what's interesting about this one, and it's different than all my other Star Wars ones. We'll look at a few more before we cap it and call it. This one reminds me, do you ever watch or look at those like concept art books for the original trilogy or look at that stuff online? I think that's because I had to use some of that reference material to build this because it wasn't in the movies. I think it's got a little bit of that vibe going for it.
Yeah, it's nice. I just noticed the containers on the roof there as well. You know, like the old school space container part. There's 2 next to each other with the 60 slopes above and then the grilled tile.
Yeah. So that was my only New Hope. Actually, it's the only Star Wars mock that I've done that's from the original trilogy at all.
Right. Okay. The rest is all prequel.
It's all prequel stuff. So let's pull in this one next. I've done a lot of stuff for like Naboo because they didn't do Naboo at all. If you remember. Oh, let me pull this real quick before we look at these. Absolute Garbage says the angles, the height difference, and the modularity is satisfying. So satisfying on that one. And great building. What a setting. I was pretty excited when this showed up in the Book of Boba Fett. Yeah. So that we're talking about this one here. So now we're looking at 2 different ones. We have the Battle for Naboo on the left, and then we have Theed Palace or the battle or Naboo Palace on the right. Now, the tank, the droid tank, and the green speeder on the left are Lego's original designs. I just added them because Lego did that back then. You could buy a set and it would just have the same set, like Anakin's pod racer. Yeah. So they just threw them in here. So the design of those aren't really my original ones. I just put them in there for the battle. But the background, the whole palace part, is my design. And then I built my own security speeder in like almost like teal in this second one over here.
Yeah, very cool. Side-mounted 2x3 curved slope. Nice.
Yeah. Probably a little more advanced building techniques than what they may have used back then. I will admit, but
we did some weird stuff, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I will say.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say. I'll say the Harry Potter roof parts in sand green are you're cooking when you get a hold of those for any Naboo Palace builds, dude.
Yeah,
That's the move. You gotta have a handful of those because they work
I've
so
got a
well.
bunch of them, but not the big quarter dome ones from the other one. They're really nice.
Yeah.
I don't know how rare they are.
But yeah, so this is the
a lot of these harbor plates. I've got many of them, the slopes and the straight ones from the harbor piece. So I've seen this you know, makes me want to have a go, but it would test my tan collection out a little bit, but it could be.
Yeah, I pull in a few Harry Potter parts here and there for sure.
Yeah,
one of my favorite things on the Battle for Naboo, the one on the right, or sorry, the left, is the little. I used one of the old, like the Hogwarts Castle stair pieces.
Yeah, I can see
the spiral stair piece back there. I thought that was kind of fun to add that in.
Yeah, it goes nice. With it because you got that the tan and old grey is really cool, and then the sand-green accent really pops. Yeah, it's really good, man. I really for some reason really like just the curved railing on the other side, just the little suggestion, and then a bit of time, and then a little bit later on, and even those long dark grey tiles across the base plate. That is kind of what they had on the harbour, but they were mounted on the side. And that, so there's like a nod to harbour weirdly as well, which is weird. But I like the so you've got the rivermen fish there as well, Jason. Nice.
Yeah. It's the old samurai or ninja fishes kind of there. It felt
I call
Nubian.
Them
yeah,
that's it.
Nubian. I think it is Nubian. It seemed like Nubian architecture. And I actually did on the big palace here, I did add a couple of play features. There's a little like ventilation shaft walkway in that main turreted area up at the top that is more like kind of reminiscent of the place they were fighting in the Duel of the Fates. I have partially an expansion that clips onto the back of this that's half built.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe one day we'll see the expansion. The statue, you can hinge it open and there's lightsaber hilts hiding in there. You can open the fountain behind Obi-Wan and it drops down into the river. So maybe a little escape area. There's pistols hiding under her, her pistol she pulls out of the chair. That chair in the back of the set, you can barely see it. It's a little red. That's her little throne chair. The table opens up. Or no, the chair opens up and there's two pistols under the chair that she can pop
I see, yeah.
All right, so I did add some play features to it and some little Easter eggs. And then one of my favorite things is using the diver's submarine windshield screen for the shield.
Yeah, for the droidicars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sick. Yeah, I love the Queen Amidala's sort of maidens. They look really cool.
Yeah,
wood and orange there.
What
is that?
What is that?
In the where a chair is, where the glass is, and the Panaka's just in front of it. If you look behind Panaka, there's a clear glass, and then either side there are two sort of maidens.
The her handmaidens. So those are orange hoods. Their dresses, I think, might have come from the Dune gal. I think they're in Dune dresses, so those aren't allowed parts. And then their faces are the King Kahuka's face with the
right, perfect.
They actually look pretty good. I should have done some close-ups of the figs, but
very Naboo, very Theed. Lovely.
This should have been a set, says Josh.
100%.
What's the basic
This is off the chain. You get a lot of love from the Lego community about these, don't you, Jason?
Absolutely. I've been featured on a couple of different big Lego Star Wars channels. One of them did not credit me, and I went after him. The other one, I've been featured on M&R Productions has showed some of my stuff. Again, he didn't really say who the designers were, but he did say they're from Instagram. They're not my designs. He just wanted to pull them up as examples of vintage Lego Star Wars sets and mocks and stuff. So, but I get people asking for instructions for these all the time, and I'll send parts lists to people for these all the time. So I just need to put these together and make it happen. But yes, pretty much overwhelmingly positive support across the board for all of these. Yeah, people seem to like them a lot. So base plate on the left from again. It's the harbor. Right? The harbor base plates.
Yeah.
So it's 3 base plates. There's the main chunk, and then there's 2 ramps. And those are just from the Lego City Harbor sets. Same with the
And then
big
it's tiles to
towers.
cover the.
Mhm. Yeah.
Works well.
Um,
Like I say, I've got a bunch of them. It's the only thing I've got left in my old harbour.
yeah, they come in dark gray too, and I've been kind of grabbing dark and light gray ones whenever I can because one of these days,
That'd be good for space. For Greytron or something, Redtron. Anyway, yeah, really nice build. Both of these.
Yeah, it would be fun to pull some of these into Castle. You could do some recolors or even use the same ones. There are some fun techniques. One of my favorite things I did was the sideways built brown fence pieces for lattices. You can see them kind of on the edge here where that little foliage climbs up around the edge. They're all over though, especially up top. It's like whole corner pieces made of those, like almost like little like lattice panels and stuff. So
really cool.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Crusader, why would it be hard to say the name of someone who's worth your sharing? That's what I said. Now with
because they want to take more credit.
With MNR, he has shared my stuff on his Instagram and like tagged me in it, so I don't hold it too much against him. And then he didn't really, when he showed these, he should have probably just been like, these are designed by the Brick Stuff, these are designed by whatever, because he did show multiple different mocks and it could have been easy. At least he didn't. The one I went after literally was like, I designed this, and I was like, no, you didn't. That was mine. Like, don't tell people you designed this.
That's
like,
mental.
Yeah, so it's like, and then he like credited me in the comments or in the title of the video and everything after I like blew him up with the comments and stuff. So it was some other channel. He stole my Geonosian City, or not the Geonosian City, what was it? The clone city. What is that called? Camino.
Oh, Camino. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
He did a re-edit, so he made it modern and did modern figs and like they cleaned up the box art and made it look like it was a current set. He did a great job, but like totally just didn't credit any of the work. He's like, this would be the set, the flagship set in my theme if we were doing this. I'm like, no, dude, like what are you doing?
That's like,
it's so easy too. Like when we did Old Bones, like we credit him, we talk about him all, like we
well, it's just it's different, isn't it? Like we're here to shine a light on people who are doing this stuff because we know how hard it is to do it. So we respect the people that do it. It's not about taking shade. Taking credit. It's just about you put your own thing in and you admire the people that are doing really well, and everybody gets lifted up at the same time. But some people don't think that way, and that's just the world, man. Shame though. I'm glad you went after him though, brother. Well done. Send him.
Yeah, I did, and he fixed it. So to his credit, and then he was like, we should maybe do more videos together, and I didn't really respond because I was like, I don't know about that, bro.
Yeah.
I wonder what the ratio of vehicles to buildings is for Lego Star Wars. This is awesome, Jason. Thank you, Spacer. And that's another thing. You might notice a lot of my mocks, not all, but a lot of them are locations. Lego Star Wars has a severe lack of locations and buildings in their themes. It's very low. There's very few. It's all ships and vehicles.
Yeah.
So
this is something that you do consistently, and not just with Star Wars. You'll look for those classic space factions when you mock, won't you? That didn't get bases and didn't get land things, and fulfill that for them. Because I know that you're more of a base or station orientated builder. But to be honest, dude, like every time you make a vehicle, you do a great job. So.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, that's where I lean a little bit.
A mothership or something one time.
Right. Well, we're going to see a couple of vehicles I've done. So we will take a look at these as well. But when I do the vehicles, I do kind of lean into like, how do I portray this in Lego? How do I make it look somewhat accurate? So, when I'm doing like Naboo Palace, there's nothing really in this build that's actually what it looks like in the movie. The one on the left looks a little bit like the video game, and I drew inspiration heavily from the video game, but like the Lego Star Wars video game. But it's a representation of the IP, not a direct copy of the IP, and that's what I liked about these old sets. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm gonna try and pull in the Pod Racer set that I mentioned earlier. I don't know if the file is gonna work because I didn't format it, so it might just be too big. Let's find out. Let's see if it does it.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
It's trying. Did it go?
It's just loading.
Okay, it's a bigger one. Oh, all right. Yeah. Here we go. Did it work for you?
I'm still loading.
It's still loading. Okay.
There we go. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, it's here.
Zapor says these are great. Thank you, Zapor.
Yeah. Check this one then, Zapor. This is fantastic. Uses the castle correlation.
Yeah. So, dude. Yeah. What do you think, bro? Like,
I mean, like, you know what I think. Why are you asking me what I think? You know what I think. Killer. But the thing that the best thing. So these build techniques are great. These part uses are great. All that, yeah. But what's most impressive for me is the way that how it reads. Like, this could totally have been the other part of that set. Like, with not one part removed or changed, this could have been, and you wouldn't notice if you didn't know and they said this one came out in 99 as well, you'd just be like, yeah, it's amazing. Lego are great, aren't they? And yet, he says it's really good. The only thing that probably gives it away is it's a bit better. It's
well, I don't know.
It's always a bit more fleshed out, and the announce tower is a little bit more fleshed out and stuff.
Maybe a little, yeah. I get that. Yeah,
so
a little
good,
bit more. So this one is based on an actual pod racer design. If you look at pod racers and the game again, Episode 1 Racer, or any book that has any Star Wars stuff in it, you're gonna see this one. I legitimately forgot the name of this guy.
I can't remember.
But
I used Quadraneros, but it wasn't him because he had
yeah. And then the fig I just cobbled together out of Bionicle minifig scale Bionicle pieces and like skeleton legs and stuff. He's an alien. He's a very odd looking alien. That was the closest.
The Bulba flashes him into a rock and he goes.
I think that might be him. Yeah. I can't remember. No, this one doesn't. His pod like come off and spin. I don't remember. Maybe does he roll and blow up? Yeah. Anyway, I think he meets his demise. But using castle crenellations for the cockpit was kind of my favorite thing ever. And then I've got the two-headed. Look at this chunky boy up in here. The two-headed commentator.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Ben Quadraneros.
Looks like Ben Quadraneros having something with his power converter or power couplings.
Little Skywalker's in the lead.
So that's this guy. I just built him out of bricks. I thought it was close enough.
It's like a little rat as well of us.
Yeah, you got a little womp rat hiding in the back, chewing on the cables and the supplies back there. And then I made him custom.
The droid design from the...
Yeah. I made him custom. He's custom color for the little pit droid down here.
Oh, it's so good. You're gonna have to do some more. You're gonna have to do Ben Quadraneros, man. He's your next.
Yeah. He should be the next one, huh? What could have been for sure. Says,
great, man. And then maybe as your background build, you could have like the stand where Qui-Gon and Padme are like watching from or something, and then you could put all these together.
Yeah, that would be fun. K2 says the double smiley is just a little cursed, and it was intended to be. There's a lot of little cursed things in some of these old Star Wars sets. So it's even worse. One of them's a smiley face, and one of them is Ron Weasley's face. So you can't really tell, but it's worse than just a double smiley. I would love to see Legos doing their own versions of the races. Well, I mean, they have. I mean, we looked at some of them earlier, but this was my contribution to that. Now there are a couple of modern pieces on here, but you know what? There's mostly vintage parts. So
yeah,
I am happy I found that. It was one I forgot to add to the main. I've got like 2 more slides, and then we'll call it.
No worries, man.
Got to get back onto that because I had to pull it off of someone else.
No worries.
So just give me a second while I pull the last 2.
That's fine. I'm glad you brought it in. It's really good. Again, the side builds are really nice on this one too.
Thanks. I do appreciate that. All right. Oh, well, I have 3 more slides. So the biggest glaring miss that Lego made when they produced the classic Star Wars sets was the lack of Queen Amidala's starship.
Yeah.
They never made this set, and they still have never made this set. If they ever represented this in Lego, it was in the Lego video games, or perhaps in a micro build polybag set, maybe. But I don't even think it was in a polybag set. They have never represented this ship in Lego Star Wars. So, of course, that was like what I needed to do first, right?
Yeah, man.
and I
It's a
did.
shame you can't dip this whole ship in chrome.
I know. Yeah. So if this had really been done in, now you can't even really tell, but the little grill pieces are all chrome. You can't really
I can tell. You can tell. Actually.
You know, if this had actually been done in Lego, they probably would have added tan or blue highlights on the exterior.
I know, yeah.
I added them on the
green.
Interior. Yeah, or maybe green or something. Yeah,
brown, something horrible. Yeah, it's really well done. Like the disc part, the UFO parts at the back to get that bit, and the way that it kind of joins onto the front bit. It's really novel. It reads like the time again. The brief has been accomplished. It reads like the sort of that Gungan ship, and you know that kind of
right.
You tempted to say blocky in the way that the 33 slopes kind of come in, but really you're standing back and taking it as a whole, aren't you? You could zoom into anything and get like that, and actually that's part of the charm of it as well. What's cool about this is though you can kind of take all these bits off and have a look inside, and
yeah,
a lot of the interior.
There's a couple of little cargo elements that open, and you can add tools and lightsabers and suitcases.
And you've got your blue parts in, your blue accents in, just in that sense. So
there are a few, yeah. There is a spot for the droid, so he can plug in there, and there is also a spot for the. I don't know if you see this. We'll get a closer look at this too, but this is my custom hyperdrive piece. You like that? I drew the hyperdrive on that.
Amazing.
Made a sticker.
Is it on that? It's not on that like battery, that weighted.
It is not, but it is the same size. It's just two
2x6.
Yeah, two 2x6.
So. It's nice, man. And so you got the Wild West kind of sticker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, I'm all for that. I'll still do that. I don't care.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, if it's for something like this, if you're going to apply it nicely and then not
don't take
keep
it off.
that bit as it is, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Or if you do have to put the build in storage, you just take that bit as a pair and put it in that carefully. It's great, man. It's really, really. It is the missing link. You're right. They needed that, so it's good that you filled that in, man.
Yeah. I feel like it was actually really hard to build. I'm not gonna lie, and it's still not 100% perfect, but I think it's close. I would build this in real life. I think that would be fun. I actually like it opened up more almost. I think it looks cool open. But you kind of got the queen, and you got her decoy. See sitting there. That's her decoy, and then she's in her like peasant garb or whatever when they went out to the city to look for the parts. I have Obi-Wan and Panaka like trying to fix it with hammers and stuff. Yeah, and then there's a lot of gear. I wanted to add like the gear, so they got like tools and wrenches and different things you'd see in a ship. So
yeah, man,
kind of cool.
Naboo and Tatooine.
Yeah. Lorem says, how would you feel if Lego stole one of your builds and made it a set? Well, I'm not sure I've ever really thought about it because they never will. Lego's never gonna build anything that I've done because it's made out of a lot of vintage stuff, and the style, they would never do that. Even when they remake the old classic castle sets, they use new parts and they redesign it completely. So I mean, if they made a set that looked kind of like this, it would just it's just them representing the same ship that I tried to build. I would obviously be pretty upset if they actually did that, but yeah, and it seems like there has been a couple of instances where it seems sort of like they snuck a design from someone else or something like that. So, but I don't know for sure. I'd have to look into that more. But
K2 says the way that this looks, it makes it seem like the Enterprise could have been done in this style, and I see what he means.
No spot for Anakin's mom, unfortunately. They left her behind. There's literally no room in the Lego version either. So, speaking of which, that is, and I forgot, I did misspeak. I misspoke, I should say. These two sets here the instructions are available for these. This is a Shami's house, I think is their name, Shami or Shami, and then Shmi, and then Watto's Junkyard. Awesome. And they had a Lego set of Watto's Junkyard, but really all it was like 2 or 3 gray tan arches with some motors and parts kind of next to them, and then the main set was the 2 additional speeders you could add to the most.
Right, okay.
So
this feels
Yeah, I wanted to make like the actual shop, So
It feels like what a shop with the different rooms that he's got and stuff.
Mhm. And I think it either hinges. I think this was in hinges or don't. This one either clips together or hinges. So there's a modular element to the water one, and then Shmi's house is a hinge open. So
yeah.
Yeah, and this is just more representations of their time on Tatooine. I mean, it's a big chunk of the movie. The pod race, they're there for a long time.
Yeah, man.
And they go to the house. They see him building, the droid back in his room.
Yeah. Part use fantastic. Again, I like the Life on Mars Sam purple brackets, the archways. They fit really nice. All the engine parts and yes, and again, really well considered. And you get a nice closer look at your custom hyperdrive there, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nuclear, no.
Yeah. And they're trying to buy it with some Lego gold coins. Yeah, as you can tell, like 90% of the sets I did were locations, buildings that were missing, like things that make. I've seen people build these in real life. They've showed me like images of them after they put them together. They look actually really cool on like a little shelf next to other Star Wars classic stuff. I'm like, man, one of these days I'll build all this stuff for real. But yeah, so these are, there's not what was that?
On the list with the stuff to go in the museum.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, along with all the other stuff I want to do. But all the Rivermen, the Druids, and the Dungeoneers, and all that. But what was I going to say? Yeah, these are both available. You can actually buy them as a bundle. The instructions for both of these, you can just buy them as a bundle. You save like a couple dollars if you want to do that. But they are the PDFs to design or to build these are available. So they're not that complicated. You could probably build Shami's house without an instruction manual, but it is there if you want it. So and the last one for the mocks is this one. Oh, there's two more. There's two more, but they're on one slide, so it's these two. Yeah, so we got Gungan City, and then we have Sebulba and the market scene where Sebulba and Jar Jar get into a little scuffle here. So that's kind of my extent of like some of the builds for most of my mocks in Star Wars are centered around classic representations of the Phantom Menace.
Can we just get a moment of appreciation for your Boss Nass, Phil?
Yeah.
Bro.
I don't know what else to do, bro. Like, there's nothing else I can do.
I don't know what you could have done. I don't know how else you could have done it. That bit should be a little polybag creative 3-in-1 Boss Nass.
I think the only thing that would make him better was maybe like just a little print of like eyeballs on him.
Yeah, just a little eyeball print, perhaps.
And then you're good to go.
So good. Because it would have been so easy just to do a different part of the place and leave him out, but you didn't leave him out. You made Boss Nass. Bravo, man. Bravo.
There it is. If they had done it, they would have molded a head on a minifigure.
Yeah.
I've seen custom like classic style Boss Nass. They actually look great, and I would have added one in, but I didn't have it. So
I like the green dishes and the tan antennas at the top, and bringing the black spear in, because of course when they like that, don't they? The Gungan gods, use a big doodoo this time. They have those things, don't they?
You're gonna be punished. Yeah. So we got a couple of Gungan guards. Yeah. This one would also be a nightmare to build. Those big gray plates are expensive as hell. The domes are probably not. Some of the brown parts are pretty standard. But I think it's the base plate that it's built on is just not an easy find. I don't know about these green dishes and stuff like that, but the brown vines. The brown vines actually aren't too hard. They came on like a weird.
Brown vines aren't too bad. Those green dishes, I've got a feeling they're not super easy to come by. They're either fine or they're not. But well, obviously, Jim, you know what I mean,
right?
I'll pick off the top of my head. I feel like they're rare for some reason.
Ran out of seats. Was that from? What was that from? Oh, this one maybe. Oh no, this one. Yeah, they ran out of seats for Shmi. But we have her house at least.
There we go.
Also, that torso I used for her is kind of hard to get. That's a Jedi Bob's torso in dark gray.
Oh wow.
You know, the problem with doing vintage Lego Star Wars is that stupid blue Watto is like $100.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you have the parts, then it's cool.
Has there been other Wattos since?
What? Yeah, there's been one other one, and then they did a keychain. But like, the newer one's slightly cheaper, I think. But they only did them twice this way, and then they did like a more like printed version of it.
Right.
So yeah, they're just expensive. So you got to remember that. You know, you could, but the primary chunks of the build aren't too hard. It's just when you try and put in the cool minifigs with the right colors and stuff, they get a little expensive.
So if they do a Lego CMF line for Star Wars, we need a Watto in there.
I guess so, but like he's going to be new, so like that's the other thing. All the CMF new stuff is going to be like fleshies, so you know it's not so much what I care.
All right, they need classic Lego system, classic CMF line.
Thanks, Lorem. He said he likes the droid on the bottom right here.
Yeah, it's ace.
Yeah, the original pit droid. There he is. Yep, in here as well. I'm just catching up on comments. So
I quite like the way you've done. You've answered for C-3PO's unplated look with the UFO torso.
Well, this isn't. Oh yeah. With a UFO torso. Yeah. Here, yeah. He's all like put together, all funky and everything. Yeah. Because he was halfway built, so I thought it worked well for all his like wires hanging out. It's not. It's technically not wood, Josh. It's more of like a. If you see like in the movie, what is it? It's like this weird amber colored like globe material, and when you're building in classic colors, you have to represent whatever you can. So he might be trolling me. I don't know. You're probably trolling me, but it's brown copper kind of metalish globe structure. Almost didn't realize that wasn't the minifig. Yeah, the Boston ass one. Let's see, Unforgettable. Yeah, Brian Blessed was the voice of
Brian Blessed, absolute legend.
Blessed. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Gordon's alive.
Yeah, he was great, dude. He probably did a lot of those voices, right? I mean, but Boss Nass is unforgettable for sure. The brown flashlights. Yeah. The little torches. Those are kind of trickier to come by, I guess, huh? Yeah, just a lot of random parts that are hard to get. He also plays Falcon King.
That's what I just did. The Gordon's alive.
Oh, love it. Thank you. Yeah. It's a little before my time.
That one is pretty wacky.
Doesn't help when people steal Lego. That's a point. That definitely doesn't.
Yeah,
help.
Don't do that. That's not a good thing.
It's a weird. It is weird. A common part, but rare color.
There you go.
Are we talking about the brown again? The brown lantern pieces. Yeah, once you hear his laugh, you recognize him anywhere. Boss Nass. Been decades, but yeah. I feel that, Josh. It's been a long time since you watched it. Love the wood look. Yeah, I mean it is cool. I think it works pretty well. I mean, it's really just leaning into the classic palettes. Like what colors could represent this as well as like
you did stuff like that to represent copper and stuff. So it's in keeping.
And I think that's. Let me double check, but I think that's it, man. That was a pretty long episode. We're hitting 2 hours, so we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, I should probably wrap up.
But that's it. That's 1999. We got the mocks. We got the terrifying alt builds. We've got the original designs and sets. And it was a turning point in Lego. Maybe it wasn't for the best. Who knows? I mean, it definitely shifted them completely into IPs and things like that after all these years. But maybe we wouldn't have even had Lego if it didn't happen. You know, they were literally falling into the abyss of bankruptcy when this came out. So,
all in all, it's a good thing. But I like the yellows.
Yeah, man.
I think as soon as he goes flashy, it kind of loses it for me.
It's fun though.
You know,
these original ones. Yeah.
I could see marking some of this original stuff and getting it on my shelf and feeling kind of good about that.
Definitely.
Yeah, just the newer stuff. I'm not too much.
Yeah.
But your mocks are really good. Those bases are really good. That's a really way to hit it and answer for some things that Lego haven't done yet. And even with Queen Amidala's ship. So the Nubian. So well done. They were really good as well. I enjoyed talking about that. For someone who sort of I was this was my dark age time, just as this was, I was leaving Lego behind. But it's nice to sort of delve back into it a bit. It's nostalgic.
Yeah, I'm with you there for sure. It is fun to look back at this again and kind of get the vibes. I was still pretty in the Lego scene when this came out, so it was definitely eye-opening. Lorem says it didn't need to happen the way it did, but here we are. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We're here. We can work with what we got. So thanks for joining, everybody. Just keep in mind, you can become a member. You get custom-drawn castle shields for your badges. What else? There's super chats, so if you want to get your voice heard in the chat, you can jump in there and drop a super chat. You can... and then I think there should be custom emojis. I'm not sure about that. I got to make sure that those are available for people as well. But that's it. And then on the members tab, it says members only live streams as well can be offered. I'm not 100% sure how to run those, but those could be potentially. They're not hitting yet, but. No. Moving forward, if we can get the monetization going and things like that, we'll get the channel up and doing those things.
For sure.
So
sure.
I do want to address 2 more comments and then we will sign off because it is getting
no problem.
Could you read this one and then let me pull up the other one?
Yes. So this comment, I've just simultaneously went to small screen. Just 2 seconds. This comment was from Rodrigo Ruiz, 4452, and he says you all should do a video talking about Lego's chief of marketing and have Lorem as a guest speaker. Julia Goldwyn would be nice. Just a massive stand, just like burn it down for Julia. It's tempting, but
yeah. Also, special thanks to Chris Jones and Absolute Garbage for becoming channel members today in real time. Thank you so much for that. We both appreciate you big time. And,
thank you.
Yeah, that's an awesome, really encouraging thing to see. So Josh says we do live in the timeline with Wolfpack in space. Wolftron. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You got to just be
good point, Josh.
Where we're at. I mean, we got
a lot.
Wolftron. We've got Riverman coming down the pipeline. We've got all the custom stuff.
Dude, I'm so excited for that. I'm like literally like vibrating by Riverman. And all the rest of the possibilities that might open up. So, yeah, man.
It's Castilla Classics. Do you follow him on Instagram?
Yeah. I've talked to him in the last couple of days. We've been sharing stuff, and everyone's really chill and supportive on Insta at the moment in the Castle thing. I'm having a little bit of a push at the moment because I'm coming up to 3,000 followers. So I'm just dropping testing out some reels and things that I've been meaning to do for a while. But obviously I broke up from work now, so I've got no excuse. So I'm getting busy.
Let's see that Instagram blow up, man, and follow Retro Space Coats on Instagram as well. Obviously, I mean, if you are, I just assume you already are. So yeah, but definitely do that. Drop a like on the video, of course. Share it. Watch it back, do the things, So yeah, and follow us both on Instagram. That's the best way to probably get a hold of me. I don't know about you, but as far as the community goes, if you want questions, I mean, I was talking to a couple people about their mocks and stuff like that. Yeah, we're pretty active on Instagram for the most part. So if you want to engage with us more, that's where you can do that. And we'll be back with another video next week. Thank you so much for joining. And,
easy, everyone.
Yeah.
Take care.
Take it easy.